That's a great question. And, I have to go back all the way to my teenage years, watching my mother diet. She was a dance teacher and always was on some kind of diet, complaining about her body and needing to lose weight. So I had my eye on, well, as women, we're just going to need to lose weight from an early age. I didn't need to lose any weight because I was perfectly sized as a teenager, right? So many of us think we need to lose weight, but we're actually just fine. But I was already hyper focused on it coming up in the dance community. So started my first diet experience, right after I got out of my freshman year of college and realized I'd put on the freshman 15. So there started my dieting. Um, Basically, I continued up and down, yo-yoing like so many people over the years, and always was looking for that one magical thing that would finally make it easier for me. I tried every single diet that came along. I would go to the bookstore, peruse the diet aisle, read all the books titles that were there on the shelves and say, which one do I want to try next? So it's no surprise that I heard about intermittent fasting early on. It was probably 2009 when I first heard of the concept. I'm not really sure we were using the words intermittent fasting yet, but the whole idea of, eating every other day or doing a 24-hour fast a few times a week or having a, 5-hour eating window. Those were the early kind of things that I was reading back then. Around 2012, more things started coming out. We had the 8-hour diet getting popular. Things like that. And I would dabble here and there. So from 2009 to 2014, I knew about intermittent fasting and I was dabbling in all the different, methods that were out there. But back then, all that people were really saying, people that would write the books or the blogs or whatever, all they said was, basically, this is a way for you to eat fewer calories, whether you're doing it every other day with like our 5-2 approach where you have 2 days a week where you're eating fewer calories and the rest are, quote, eating normally, or whether you're doing it in an 8-hour window or a 5-hour window or whatever. Everyone was just talking about we're going to be eating fewer calories because you're not eating as frequently. And I would dabble in it, like I said, but I never was successful. And the dabbling was the reason I was never successful because, we can get into this in a little while, but with intermittent fasting, you need to actually build up your fasting muscle and adapt physically to a lot of the changes that go on behind the scenes. So the very worst thing you could do is dabble in it. You're like living in the hard part all the time if that's what you're doing. And also, it was before I understand the concept of fasting clean, which is that's some terminology that we created in one of my Facebook groups, and it's kind of stuck around, and it's kind of out in the world. People use it all the time, which I love. But we didn't really know what was going on in our bodies, and then the obesity code came out in 2016. That really changed a lot of the understanding. But to backtrack to when did I really get serious about it was 2014. That was when I had been, like I said, in that diet world for so long, trying so many diets. Any diet that came along the path, I was trying it. I had actually given up for really a couple of years. From 12 to 14, I just kind of gave up and got bigger and bigger and bigger until one day in 2014, I went on a family trip, looked at the photos, had a hard time moving around, got home, weighed myself. I was 210 pounds and I was officially obese. That was the first time I ever really came to terms with the trajectory my life was taking me on. I was just getting bigger and bigger year after year. The diets were not working. I was like, I've got to figure out something once and for all. And that was what brought me to intermittent fasting, the time that finally stuck. 2014. I've been doing it consistently ever since 2014. Went on to lose 80 pounds over the years. I've been through menopause. And ever since I lost the weight, I've never left my maintenance range, which is so exciting. So thank you, intermittent fasting, finally being consistent, finally understanding it's a lifestyle, finally understanding, biologically what's going on, why we need to fast clean. That made all the difference in the world. So for not quitting, sticking with it, understanding, it really is a health plan with the side effect of weight loss.